Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. It is Alicia Hurt, and we are talking about infertility. Let's talk about infertility. We are going to dive back into A Heart That Knows Loss. It's one of our recent published books that helps you find healing and purpose after child loss. And so we are diving into the second chapter. So while I get everything together here, I would love for you to like and share this information because you never know who needs it. You never know who needs it. And also want to share, I See My Baby. We're located at 310 South Scott Street in Bainbridge, Georgia. We support women holistically as they navigate their journey of infertility. Our phone number is 229-939-3240. Our website is iseemybaby.org. You can also email us at info@iseemybaby.org. And without further ado, we're going to dive right in, and I will give you all your time back. Again, like and share because you never know who needs this information. I'm also going to place our handles in the chat so that you can stay in contact with us and see all of the great services that we offer. So again, we're diving into chapter 2. If you missed chapter 1, please go to our YouTube channel and you can catch the replay. So we're talking about breaking the silence. So I want you guys to remember that grief often lives in silence, whether it's grief of a child or a loved one. Normally we deal with it in silence, and you may not even know that someone is carrying that grief with them in their daily walk in life. Because after a miscarriage or a loss of a child, many women feel an overwhelming loneliness, not just because of the loss itself, but because of the silence that surrounds it. And society often struggles to acknowledge these types of losses, which leave grieving mothers feeling invisible. We definitely do. I've had those moments, as if the plan is too delicate, the pain is too delicate or uncomfortable to be spoken of. And this silence can make grief feel very, very heavy, as if your pain exists in a world where others don't see or understand it. Especially if you were early on in your pregnancy, people feel like, well, it wasn't a baby. It's like, yeah, it was a baby in my womb. And so we definitely have to be cognizant of this as going through grief, because listen, I know that this silence is intimate. However, after a miscarriage, whether it's first, second, or third or fourth, I know for me, when the first time going through in vitro and they said, hey, it took, but we don't hear a heartbeat anymore, that, oh my God, I felt like a ton of bricks just was landed right on my shoulders, that my chest like was caving in. And yes, I barely spoke of it, but I carried that grief alone. I know my husband felt it a different way, but I couldn't even show it for him because I was suffering in silence as well. You want to make sure that, yes, you are dealing with it, but that you talk about it openly, because guess what? That silence, it didn't make the pain go away. It actually magnified it. And it wasn't until I spoke up about my loss that I began to feel the burden lighten off of me, and even just a little bit, just lightening off of me. Diving into why it's important again to speak out your truth. It's because if you share your story, it can be an act of profound healing. And when you speak about your loss, you can give voice to the life that was, even if it was brief, even if it was 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 12 weeks, it still helps. You honor your child's existence and create space for others to offer comfort and understanding. And here's some other reasons why speaking out helps. It validates your loss. Speaking out affirms that your child existed and that there was life, however brief, right? But it mattered. Also, your emotional release. It helps when you suppress your emotions. It can create internal stress. And sharing your experience can help release that tension, releasing that tension. Also, it helps to create connection. When you open up, you may find that others who have often walked in a similar path have connections, and it can help with your healing. It can definitely lead to your healing. When you're ready to share, because initially in the beginning you may not be in a position to share, so it's okay, it's all in your timing. But when you are ready to share, here are some things to consider. You want to start with someone that you trust, someone who can hold your emotions without judgment. You want to be honest about your feelings, because you don't have to edit your emotions to make others feel comfortable. And you want to remember that you control how much you share. It's okay to protect parts of your story if you're not ready to share them yet. It is quite all right. It is your story in your time, and you can share as much or as little that supports you in navigating your journey and without judgment. And you want to find a safe space. You want to find a safe space to share this information, because not everyone will understand your grief, and that is okay. It's important to seek out spaces where your feelings are met with compassion and empathy. And safe spaces can be physical, can be emotional, or it can even be a virtual setting. So how do you find these places to help with support? Well, you can find support groups. We do have support groups here at I See My Baby. We have, you could check your local organizations, community centers, your health department. You can navigate through Facebook and social media. There are a lot of different private groups there. What I would say is, once you're in the group, kind of look around, use your discernment before you start to air out your information, making sure that it is indeed safe. But what you'll find in those groups is that you are definitely not alone, and that there are women that have stories similar to yours, maybe more extreme. I've met women that have had over 9, 10, 11 miscarriages. And I'm like, wow, you have strength, and it will help you along your way. Also, women that have gone through infant death, also pregnancy loss. So, and those are two different things, but the grief still remains. So you want to be surrounded by others who get it and can be profoundly healing. It can be profoundly healing to you. You can also reach out to therapists or counselors. Speaking with a professional who specializes in grief and loss, it can help you process your emotions in a safe, non-judgmental space. And we do offer life coaching. We also have counselors as well that can support you both in person and virtual. Also, your faith community, your churches, your community, faith-based, whatever your denomination may be. You could reach out to grief, your pastoral counseling, to get one-on-one support. And how do you recognize a safe space? Again, you use your discernment, maybe not openly sharing just yet, just to get a feel for what's going on. You want to make sure that you feel heard and validated and not rushed or judged to tell your story. Your emotions are allowed to exist without being minimized. How you feel is how you feel. And do not be ashamed of it. You feel safe to express yourself without fear or making others uncomfortable. That is how you know that you are in a safe space. Writing. You guys knew writing was going to come up. I love to journal and to write. It is so therapeutic. If speaking feels too difficult, writing can be a powerful alternative. Writing allows you to process complex emotions in a private and a safe way. It gives you space to put words to feelings that may be too raw to speak out loud. And here are some ways to start writing. You can write a letter to your child. You can write a letter expressing your love, hopes, and dreams, and let your words create a bridge between you and the life that you lost. You can journal your emotions by recording your feelings, your thoughts, and memories. Remember that journaling can help you track your healing journey and identify patterns in your emotions. You can do unsent letters to yourself. Write a letter to your past self or your future self. This can be a powerful way to acknowledge growth and honor your resilience. And that is one question that we ask all of our guests on our newest podcast, Now Women Rising. And when you hear the stories and how you would talk to your past self in future terms, it is so powerful. So you can do that as well as you are working through your grief and your journey. And some prompts that can help you to get started would be, what I wish people understood about my grief is. If I could say one thing to my child, it would be. And then the hardest part about this journey has been, and it will start to truly flow for you. And just write, just continue to write. You want to honor your child's life through words and rituals. So you can create a ritual, and it can be a meaningful way to honor your child's memory and keep their presence alive in your heart. These rituals don't have to be elaborate. They can be simple, right? Just very simple. It doesn't need to feel, it does need to feel authentic, so yes, it could be simple, it could be elaborate, but it has to be authentic, and it needs to be meaningful to you. Just going through the process is not going to make an impact. It's not going to land. It's not going to help with your healing. It has to be meaningful to you. And some ideas for that in honoring your child would be to light a candle. Light a candle in remembrance on special dates like your due date or the day of their passing. Also, planting a tree or flowers and create a living memorial that grows and blossoms as a symbol of your child's life. Writing a letter on anniversary dates. Write a letter each year to your child expressing how your love endures. So why does it matter? Why does it matter? Why does it matter to have rituals? Well, they create spaces to acknowledge your grief. They offer a tangible way to express love and remembrance. And they provide a sense of connection and continuity. So when you're not ready to speak, remember we talked about journaling and ways to navigate expressing yourself, getting it off of your heart and your chest. Well, let's think of some other things. If the thought of sharing your grief feels too overwhelming, remember that's okay. Silence can be a form of self-protection, and sometimes it is necessary. You want to give yourself permission to wait until you're ready, because grief unfolds in its own time, and there's no need to rush the process. So what do you do in the meantime when you just cannot get the words out? You don't want to talk to anyone else. You want to surround yourself with understanding people. So even if you don't talk about it, your grief, being around people who provide comfort and love, can be healing. It can be healing and therapeutic. You can engage in quiet acts of remembrance. So again, lighting a candle, you can say a quiet prayer. You could even simply just sit with your feelings, but don't stay there long. I always say, do not stay there long, because then depression will start to creep in. You want to write without sharing. So those letters, you don't have to share those letters. That just for you. You can burn them. That could be a ritual. You can write your letter and just burn it and pray and just say, Lord, please just help me, guide me, say a quiet prayer. Silence may feel like a safe place, but breaking it when you're ready can be a doorway to healing and connection, and you do not have to face this journey alone. There is power in being seen, in being heard, and in knowing that your child's life matters. And I want to say, before we go over to chapter 3, that was the turning point for me in my personal journey. And that is why I wrote the story, to get it out. And then my next step was what? Getting it out, vocalizing it, communicating it. And then I took it a step further and said, I'm going to give back, because I want to make sure that no other woman feels alone, and that they can resonate and understand and say, hey, someone gets it. I have a safe space. So now we're going to talk about honoring the memory of your child. So the love that you have for your child, it does not disappear with their passing. It lingers in the quiet moments, in the dreams you once held, and in the ache that fills the spaces where life once grew. All right. So the love that you have for your child, it doesn't disappear with their passing. It lingers in the quiet moments, in the dreams you once held, and in the ache that fills the spaces where life once grew. So honoring your child's memory is not about dwelling in the pain or the loss, but about creating a lasting tribute that keeps their presence alive in your heart. So, why does it matter? Let me tell you. After loss, many women experience a deep fear that their child will be forgotten. This fear can add another layer of grief, and it's making it as though time is pulling you further away from the brief life that was. And so, honoring your child's memory gives you that love a place to reside, and it acknowledges their existence and validates your ongoing connection to them. So yes, they've gone over yonder. They're not here with you. They're no longer in your womb, but the love is still there, right? The connection is still there. And so honoring them, honoring their memory, it truly matters. It really truly matters. So again, a way that you can honor them to create a sense of continuity is rituals. So we talked about the rituals. Now we're going to talk about tributes. So it allows you to maintain a connection with your child, and it gives your love a space to continue. So remember, we talked about lighting the candle. We talked about planting the flowers or the trees, having a ceremony. You could do that as well. Saying a prayer. You can have healthy outlets. So again, honoring helps you to express your emotions, right? And it offers you a channel for love and for sorrow. And it also helps you to share the story of your child. Share and acknowledge it, right? Sharing and acknowledging it, even if it was brief. Getting it out. Because if you hold it, you harbor it, it shows up in different ways. It shows up in your health. It shows up in your mental health, right? You'll start to have aches and pains. I shared that with you all before. Like at one point, I was holding a cane, carrying a cane. It's like, what's going on? Because I was holding and harboring so much. And it started to show up in other aspects of my life. And so you want to make sure that you go through these steps. And for some people, it may take a short amount of time. Some people, it may take a long period of time. Some, they may say, I'm fine, but then a month later, a week later, you feel like day one again. That is completely normal. It is just your process of grieving and getting through your journey of your loss. So here are some other ways to honor your child's memory. Creating a memory box. This is a great one. The memory box can hold items that remind you of your child. your ultrasound pictures, your hospital bracelets. And I remember sharing with one lady, I said, you know, take pictures every milestone, take pictures every milestone of yourself, of your belly, talk to your baby, rub your belly. And her journey did ultimately end in loss. However, she had those pictures and those moments to help her in her process. So keeping all those things, those letters, those keepsakes, even the hospital bracelet, this can become a safer space where you can revisit the memories and you can feel close to your child. And then it just gives you ways of how to create the actual memory box. And what I can say is, in that memory box, over time, you may want to keep it forever. Or there may be a time where you say, I'm actually going to have a ceremony and a tribute. And at that point, we're going to burn the box. And that's your way of releasing. That could be a part of your journey. Or you can say, no, Alicia, I'm keeping my memory box forever. Every so often, I want to go back to that. Could be a part of your process as well. We're not here to judge. We're just here to support you in navigating your healing process. You want to celebrate your special dates. You mark the significant dates, your due dates, the anniversary of the passing. Again, that can help you. And then as you are celebrating those dates, you can, again, light a candle. You can plant those flowers or those trees. So as you go outside, you just look and you're like, you know, hey, baby A, hey, baby Z, you know, we miss you. We love you. I see you're growing great. For us, symbolizing my mom and our grief as a family that we are going through, butterflies, and that's what speaks to us. And when we see one, we're like, hey, Nana, we love you. And it's really comforting. And it's so interesting because the butterflies come when you least expect it or when you really need it. I know I was driving down the road one day and my mom was heavy on my heart. And I just saw a butterfly go by and I was like, thank you, Lord. Ma, I love you. I'm just so happy. And I was able to get through it and release it. It's the same situation with overcoming a loss of a child. What resonates with you? What is a way to honor your child's memory? Also, donating or volunteering your time, right? Turning your grief into purpose. It can be healing. It can be a way to say, you know what, I'm going to give back in the name of and in honor of my child. I'm just providing acts of kindness and support. Again, donating to pregnancy loss organizations, maybe creating care packages for hospitals, volunteering to support other mothers, because it would definitely help you. You know, acts of service can give your grief purpose and allow your child's legacy to be one of compassion and support for others. You want to speak their names and keep their memories alive. So there is something sacred about speaking your child's name out loud. It validates their existence and it keeps their memory alive. And you can incorporate their name into prayers, conversations, or even family traditions. So here are some ways that you can speak their name. You can include their name in holiday celebrations by hanging a special ornament like on your tree or lighting a candle. You can share their name with you talk about your family's journey. You can write their name in sand, in snow, or on a paper as a visual tribute. And it helps you because speaking your child's name keeps their memory woven into the fabric of your life and honoring their presence and the impact they had on your heart. It is healing. It is therapeutic. You see how they're embracing one another. It helps you to help it flow through. And if you feel like, you know what, this honoring is just too hard, listen, that's fine. It's okay. Don't pressure yourself because grief is definitely unpredictable. Like I told you, you'll have moments where you're like, I'm fine, I got this. And then another moment like, OMG, what is going on? Why do I feel this way? You want to give yourself permission to pause. It's okay. That's fine. You can reset without guilt. You can find comfort in that stillness. Just say, you know what, I'm just going to be still right now in this moment and reflect. And you can return to it when you're ready or not. It's completely up to you. It is completely up to you. There's no pressure. So I want to thank you so much for listening in on this webinar. So we got through chapters 2 and 3, and there's definitely more to come. But the whole point of this series of Let's Talk About Infertility is to normalize the discussion, to help you understand that those thoughts and those feelings are not something that is unique, that other women are going through it, and that we're going to normalize these discussions. We're going to have them, we're going to push, and we're going to help you to heal and to get out of any rut, any stagnation that you have. We want you to be able to open up and feel free, and to be able to be empowered as a woman, and to help you blossom and to grow and to move forward, whether that's to conceive again, whether that's to say, hey, we're going to use another alternative, whether that's to say we're fine and let's move on, whether that's to say, Alicia, I need to sit in it for a while, but just give me some more wisdom and tools and techniques. We are here for it. We are here for you. Here at I See My Baby, we stand beside every woman facing life's toughest challenges, and we provide the resources and community necessary to support you through it, through your infertility, through your mental health struggles, and your pregnancy. And our mission is to empower you to reclaim your strength and to navigate your journey with confidence. We also provide counseling and therapy. We have safe spaces. Like this Thursday, we're starting on our addiction advocacy training and group sessions. We also have massage therapy to help you move through your body and take away all of those pains and to de-stress through body work. We have wellness programs and classes. Every Monday, we have yoga from 6 to 7, supported by and sponsored by Fertile Ground Family Services, Miss Tiffany Austin. Also, every first Saturday of the month, so this Saturday, we do West African dance class at 1:30 p.m. Again, that is Fertile Ground Family Services. And then we have healing retreats. We have partnered with Native Spa, Miss Reese and Miss Dana, right off of Clark Street. We've also partnered for our couples with the Love Camp. We're going on the 20th to the 23rd to Savannah, Georgia, to spend some time with the couples and to support them and to help them understand the importance of yoni steaming, how that helps with intimacy, how that is definitely self-care, but also has healing benefits for us as women. And then we are going back to Jamaica, Mon, in November, Negril, Jamaica. So reach out to us, connect with us, go online. We do have a few slots available. We like to keep our retreats intimate, so we don't have large quantities of slots available, and we do provide payment plans. Also, our doula services, we can support you through birth, preconception, counseling and coaching, and postpartum care. We also support you with any type of grief counseling as well. We have online resources. Of course, we got that Yoni Steam and our food programs, which are on the second and fourth Fridays of the month. Going back to our yoni steaming, we want to start really scheduling out our appointments, as our time in office will fluctuate during the summer. So please schedule your yoni steaming online. And if you go to our website under our programs, you'll see the link to schedule. And as always, we are a nonprofit 501c3, and so we need your support. So if you have any corporations, any companies, any individuals, and we will provide you with a tax write-off donation receipt. So please share the love, because that is how we can expand our reach and support you through our upcoming events, seminars, classes, etc. And we're always looking for volunteers to support us. I just thank you for your listening ear. I love you guys, and have a wonderful day on purpose.